Hello everybody, I hope you're all well. I hope you're enjoying the fantastic weather that we have been having. I thought today would be a good day to do a Little Miss story, and I have found the next one out of the box is just right for the weather we've been having, because I'm going to do Little Miss Sunshine. Now, I don't really need to ask you what colour Little Miss Sunshine is, do I? Because it's so obvious. Little Miss Sunshine is obviously going to be same colour as the sun, as we always do. Sun in the pictures is always bright yellow, and she's very round. But here's the next little question. She has her hair in what I think we would probably call plaits or in bunches. I'm not quite sure from the drawing. I don't normally put my hair in plaits or bunches, so I'm a bit out of practice at different types of bunches and things. But what colour ribbons does Little Miss Sunshine have in her hair? Can anybody remember? Well done. If you can remember that Little Miss Sunshine's ribbons are red. And I'll leave you to decide what sort of hairstyle she has got there, but it just makes her look even rounder and even sunnier, doesn't it? Now, I would have thought Little Miss Sunshine was quite a happy person, wouldn't you? She probably goes around telling happy stories and so on, but we'll find out. Oh, that's not the start I was expecting. This story begins, "Welcome to Miseryland." We say welcome, but there really isn't very much to welcome you about it. It's the most miserable place in the world. Miseryland worms all look like this. They all look sad and they're all crying. When the birds wake up in the morning in Miseryland, they don't start singing. Have you noticed how well the birds are singing in our gardens at the moment? It's fantastic. They start crying. Oh, we really look at that. In fact, it's like rain coming down, isn't it? It's such an awful place. They need somebody cheerful and happy. The king of Miseryland is even worse. He sits on his throne all day long with tears streaming down his face. "Oh, I'm so unhappy," he keeps sobbing over and over again. I'm so unhappy. Dear, oh dear, oh dear." And there he is looking thoroughly miserable. Anyway, Little Miss Sunshine had been on holiday. She'd had a lovely time, and now she was driving home. She was whistling happily to herself as she drove along when, out of the corner of her eye, she saw a signpost to Miseryland. Miseryland, she thought to herself. I had never heard of that before, and she turned off down the road. And that's something we can all do, sometimes, is go places we've never been to before. So sometimes we just drive along the same old road, don't we? Or we walk the same road. And sometimes it's nice to go to say, "What? I wonder what's down there. I'm going to explore." Sometimes I do that when I'm walking Hetty Betty, my little dog, in the woods down at Manor Farm. Sometimes I just go a different path and think, "Oh, I wonder where that will end up." Because it'll still be within Manor Farm, so I won't get very lost. And there's Little Miss Sunshine in her little car, whistling as she goes. And she probably whistles a happy sort of song, rather than a, which would be a bit sad and actually not very good whistling, to be honest. Anyway, she came to a sign which read, "You are now entering Miseryland." Oh, do you know what it said underneath? Underneath it said, "Smiling, laughing, chuckling, giggling are all forbidden by order of the king." No smiling, no laughing, no chuckling, no giggling. Oh dear, thought Little Miss Sunshine as she drove along. And she came to a castle with a huge door, and as often the case with castles, in front of the door was a soldier going, "Stop! You cannot come in here." "What do you want?" he asked gloomily. "I want to see the king," smiled Little Miss Sunshine. "Oh, did you see that? smiled little Miss Sunshine. Is she allowed to smile in Miseryland? No, she's not. She'll be in trouble. You're under arrest, said the soldier. But why? Asked little Miss Sunshine. For a most serious crime, replied the soldier. Most serious indeed. The soldier marched little Miss Sunshine through the huge door and across a courtyard, and through another huge door and up an enormous staircase and along a long corridor and through another huge door and into a gigantic room. And at the end of because it was a big castle, wasn't it? And at the end of the gigantic room sat the king. And what was he doing? He was crying his eyes out. Your Majesty, said the soldier, bowing low, I have arrested this person for a most serious crime. The king stopped crying. She smiled at me, said the soldier. There was a shocked silence. She did what? Cried the king. She smiled at me, repeated the soldier. But why is smiling not allowed? Laughed little Miss Sunshine. She laughed at me, cried the king. Why not? She chuckled. She chuckled, cried the king. Little Miss Sunshine giggled. She giggled, went on the king, and he burst into tears again. But why are these things not allowed? Asked little Miss Sunshine. Because this is Miseryland, wept the king. And they've never been allowed, he sobbed. Oh, I was so unhappy before you arrived, but now I'm twice as unhappy. Little Miss, I hope you're not crying when you listen. It's very sad, but please don't cry with him, will you? Little Miss Sunshine looked at him. Wouldn't you like to be happy? She asked. Of course I would, cried the king, but how can I be? This is Miseryland. Little Miss Sunshine thought. Come on, she said. You can't talk to me like that, sobbed the king. Yes, because she told him what to do. Kings, on the whole, don't get told what to do. Oh, don't be silly, she replied, and she led him across the gigantic room and through the huge door. Can you remember? I wonder if you can remember, it could have got it all backwards, haven't we? So across the gigantic room, when next? Oh, through the huge door, then along the long corridor, down the enormous staircase, through the huge door, across the courtyard, through the huge door again, to her car. Get in, she said. And little Miss Sunshine drove the crying king back to the lodge. Notice, do you remember the one that said that you couldn't do anything? You couldn't laugh, you couldn't sing, you couldn't smile, you couldn't chuckle, you couldn't giggle. Dry your eyes, she said, and handed him a large handkerchief from her handbag. Then from her handbag she produced a large pen, and 5 minutes later she'd finished. And do you know what it said on the sign? Instead of saying, you are now entering Miseryland, smiling, laughing, chuckling, giggling, forbidden by order of the king. Do you know what it said now? I bet you can guess. You are now entering Laughterland. Smiling, laughing, chuckling and giggling permitted by order of the king. There, said little Miss Sunshine, now you can be happy. And there is she, look, showing just how happy she can be. And if she can be that happy, we can all be that happy, can't we? But I don't know how to be happy, sniffed the king. I've never tried it. Sometimes you meet people like that and you think, have you ever smiled? Because some people are really miserable, but you don't have to be. Nonsense, said little Miss Sunshine, it's really very easy. And she smiled, a big smile. The king tried a smile. Not bad, she laughed. The king tried a laugh. Getting better, she chuckled. The king tried a chuckle. You've got it, she giggled. And the king looked, so I have, he giggled. He said, I'm the king of Laughterland. And so, as little Miss Sunshine arrived home, there was Mr. Happy out for an evening stroll. And look, they're like two sunshines, aren't they? Little Miss Sunshine and Mr. Happy. Big smiles. Hello, he grinned. Where have you been? Miseryland, she replied. Miseryland, he said. I didn't know there was such a place. And little Miss Sunshine giggled. Well, actually, she said, there isn't. Because where is Miseryland? It's gone. And it's now Laughterland. That is a great little story. So anytime you're feeling unhappy and you're thinking, no, I want chocolate, or I want to go outside, it's raining, think, well, actually, it's only you has decided to be unhappy. Because you could be saying, oh, I'm really happy, it's raining outside, so I'm going to stay indoors and read my book. And, oh, I can't have any chocolate, but that's because it'll be supper time any minute now, and I'm going to have extra large portions of, I don't know, broccoli. Yes, because we love broccoli, don't we? So often you can make yourself happy, just think happy thoughts. And that's clearly what little Miss Sunshine was doing. I think that's a good story. I hope you enjoyed that. And there's only one thing I can say, I think, really, don't you? Be happy. And talk to you soon. Bye.